So, I'm here to talk about energy clearing for health and wellness. And I'm delighted to be here, delighted to see so many friends and acquaintances. I've been a member of the Rays of Healing Church since about 2016. That's where I met Wendy, as a matter of fact. And I have a practice called Earth and Sky Wellness in Falls Church, Virginia, where I employ different healing modalities, both psychic healing and energy clearing. And I'm providing both socially distanced as well as Zoom sessions. At first, during the COVID crisis, everybody was just sort of locked down, but we've had a tremendous amount of sessions on Zoom, and they've been really successful. And it's truly amazing how the energetic connection projects over time and space. You can see the aura, you can feel things, and it doesn't matter that the person is not in front of you. So we're going to talk about energy clearing through dowsing. Now, dowsing is an ancient art, and essentially it's a communication between our conscious and our subconscious. By subconscious, you could call it spirit, higher self, spirit guides, guardian angels, etc., whatever you choose to call it. Now, our brain is an extremely powerful broadcaster and receiver. It's almost as if it was a radio. It sends out signals and it receives signals, and this is what enables us to do a lot of this work. Now, I don't do this work. I'm think of it as I'm a quarterback on a football team. I'm calling the plays. I'm asking the ascended masters, the angels, the guides, the higher light beings to come in and do the heavy lifting. It's them who are doing uh, this amazing work with unconditional love. Now, how do we do this? First of all, we can do this because we align and connect to the energy grid. Um, the energy grid, it took me the longest time to try to even visualize it because Wanda kept talking about a grid, and it's so hard to visualize because it's a three-dimensional thing. But this illustration here could be a good example of what that energy grid looks like. You have threads of energy that come out from your heart, from your crown, from your root, and they're connected to all the other beings and all the rest of creation. uh, it's interconnected. Okay. So the extra dimensional beings are and guides are here to assist us in the healing of humanity and the planet. That's their purpose. And what we're doing is we're calling upon them in a disinterested manner to ask for their help. Now, when we're in an alpha state, that means when our brain is functioning at 7 to 10 cycles per second, our intuitive skills increase substantially. Many people who have trouble with dowsing, or even all of a sudden there'll be days when they're very psychic and they feel really on, and there's days when they're off. It's because their brain frequency is altered. It's altered through stress. It's altered through media. It's very, very hard to do this type of work if your brain frequency is in the wrong range. And we'll look at that a little bit. I've been doing this so long that my brainwave frequency when I'm working goes down to 3.5 cycles, which is down in the delta range, which is almost like very, very deep sleep. Okay. And the grid is responds instantly to sincere requests for help and manifest positive healing intent anywhere on the planet or in the universe. This is not limited by time or space. Okay. So the objective of tonight is we're going to clear and release negative energies from this group. These are negative energies that can be blocking your energetic flow. They might be affecting your health. They might be affecting your wellness or peace of mind. Now, The COVID pandemic, as well as the recent political process, really wreaked havoc on many, many people. People who are normally they meditate and they're very chill and very relaxed, have had serious energetic distortions with some of these symptoms. Altered brainwave frequency, their magnetism and polarity is altered. Uh, the neurotransmitter activity in the brain can be heavily affected. And we'll see it a little later. Low dopamine levels or low serotonin levels or high cortisol levels produced by anxiety, fear, and trauma. What are we living with? We're thinking, will there be a vaccine? When will it be available? Should I get it? What about the rest of the world? When will life return to normal? What will the new normal look like? At work, they're saying, well, okay, probably in October we can have to come back to the office, but is it going to be every day? Are we going to be able to travel? What is our work and our life going to look like? So that's a big question mark that is stressing everyone. I see the introverts are very happy in the lockdown. Some of them are already starting to stress because they're going to have to go out and engage with people. The extroverts that feed on that contact are saying, when's it going to happen? I need it. I want to get out and engage with people. So these are all stress factors that are altering us. Okay, so we're going to ask for some help. We're going to ask the great beings to come in and for assistance and protection. We want to create a sacred space. We want to be able to work in that sacred space unperturbed. So I ask all of you to join me. Just close your eyes and relax. Highest source of light, blessed Jesus and guides, great archangels, ascended masters, healing light beings from across the realms. We prayerfully ask to assist us in all ways, at all times, and in all things to achieve our highest and best good. We invoke the Holy Father and Mother's golden light and blessings on this space and on the people attending today and upon the healings we will experience. We invoke the Archangel Michael to hold sacred space for us, for we are light, power, prosperity, and protection in front of us, behind us, above us, below us, on our left side and our right side. And we invite light beings from across the realms, as well as the great healers from the past, present, and future dimensions, and the psychic surgeons to come forth to illuminate this process with blessings and in full faith. It is done, it is done, it is done. We acknowledge and appreciate the great beings that are present with us now. So we're going to start by balancing the brainwave frequency of everybody. I did some dowsing beforehand, and I found that this group right now is operating at about 14 cycles per second, which is over analysis. So you'll see that 7 to 10 cycles per second is really ideal. That's the state that you are in when you're meditating, when you're channeling. It's a state of gratitude. 9 is gratitude for creation, gratitude for well-being. Our society tends to work up in the beta range, which is a legacy from the Anunnaki. And you can see how this is so indicative of how we are. We're over analytical, conflict, television and media, pain body identification, aggression, revenge, hatred, and murder. And believe it or not, I get clients that come in at 18 and at 19 cycles. Very sweet people who are so wound up that they're operating in the mode of revenge, hatred, and murder. Okay. And as healers, we need to really be aware of this because we need to constantly work to keep ourselves in that level of at least 9 cycles, which is gratitude. So we're going to adjust the brainwave frequency. So I want everybody to just relax, and we're going to using a bobber, which is a dowsing device. I'm going to go counterclockwise to remove things, and I'm going to go clockwise to bring things in. What it does is it creates a dimensional door. So we create this energy vortex and we get rid of the things we don't want. Hate, we send it to the fifth dimension, we bring in love. Disease, we send it away, we bring in well-being, etc. The universe doesn't like voids. So when we remove something, it's important to replace it with what we want in its place. Okay, so let's start. We ask the dowsing system and our guides to bring the brainwave frequency of all present in this gathering to a frequency of 9 cycles per second. We ask this for everyone's physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being. Okay, just went down to 12. 11. Everybody breathe in, hold your breath for 4 counts, and then exhale. And when you exhale, release the things that you're holding on to. Keep breathing deeply. Okay, that's 10. We're now at 9 cycles per second. This is the frequency of gratitude for our existence, for our connection to Source, for our families, our health, our abundance, and the love and learning in our lives. Settle into that frequency and let it become your new default frequency, allowing you to go to this peaceful space whenever you want to. And we ask this for everybody's mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being, as well as their highest good. And we ask to keep our brainwave frequency from aligning with negative energies of fear, trauma, and hate. To stabilize these energies, we bring in 9 cycle per second energy and frequency from the fifth dimension. Very good. Everybody okay? Okay. Now we're going to, one of the things that the pandemic is producing is an imbalance in hormones, in emotions, and as well as magnetism and polarity. We're energy beings. We receive positive ions from the earth. We receive negative ions from the atmosphere and from source. And as a result of this, our entire energy field is inverted. I checked before the session, and where we should be, let's say, at 0 in polarity and magnetism, we're at +10, which is one extreme for magnetism, and -10, which is another extreme for polarity. Something we should always be working on is improving our grounding. We use a grounding mat here. Walking, now that the weather is improving, walking barefoot in the grass, all of those things help us to maintain that ground and that balance within our electrical system. So this is what happens. On the right is the normal, let's say, energy structure within our system. And on the left is what happens when it gets distorted. It's as if your entire system is upside down. Okay, now we're going to, I checked, and we're going to remove the excess of yang. Now, think of yang is masculine, hot, active, acute. Yin, which is the feminine, is cool. It's chronic. It's let's say less active. So what we have here is an excess of yang in our emotions and magnetism. So we're going to reduce that and bring it back to 0. And we're going to do the opposite with our polarity, which is too strong in yin, it's too feminine, and we need to balance it with the masculine. Okay. So we asked the dowsing system to reduce the excess yang of all those present today, of the emotions, hormones, and magnetism, and bring these into the optimum level for the highest good of those present this evening. We now ask to increase the yang of the polarity, bringing it from -10 to 0. We ask this for everyone's highest good and well-being. Keep breathing deeply. I feel some resistance. We're at 8, -7. You may feel like the room is tilting a bit. -6, -5. -4, -3, -2, -1, and 0. Very good. As a result of the stress that we're living, the neurotransmitters of the brain get thrown off. So fear and anxiety can be affecting our serotonin levels. We have low serotonin levels. So some of the physical symptoms, sleep disorder, anxiety, weight gain, chronic fatigue, some of the emotional symptoms, social withdrawal, depression, low self-esteem, obsessive compulsive disorder. Do any of these sound familiar to you? I think all of us in one form or another have suffered some of this. So these are the neurotransmitters. They're not all the neurotransmitters, but these are the most relevant ones that I normally work with. So I checked the group 15 minutes before we started. And serotonin, which is the mood stabilizer, it's well-being, happiness, helps us in sleep and digestion, is -7. So it's running really weak. So we need to elevate that to a higher level. Dopamine, which is sort of the pleasure and reward chemical, is way down on the spectrum also. Now, oxytocin, it's interesting, this group must have children, husbands, pets, because oxytocin is the hug hormone, the love hormone, and it's +3. So that's really good. Alice has her grandchildren. There's a lot of things that are triggering this positive oxytocin in us. They can be released by playing with a dog, a baby, holding hands, hugging, even giving compliments can trigger the oxytocin. Now, one negative one is cortisol, because cortisol is an indication of resentment, rage, resistance, repression. Okay, and it's +3. Melatonin is negative. This is some people in the group may be having trouble sleeping. This is what stabilizes your circadian rhythm and your biological clock in your brain. And then lithium is important in depression and things like that. So the group is a little low in that area. And it's interesting, the blood flow to the brain is slightly reduced in the group. So we're going to work on improving all of these. So we asked the dowsing system to elevate the yang levels of serotonin from -7, dopamine from -4, melatonin from -4, lithium from -4, and blood flow from -2, elevating these to the optimum level for everyone's highest good and well-being. We also asked to reduce the excess levels of cortisol from +3 to the optimum level for the group's highest good and well-being. Okay. Now, prior to starting this session, I did some dowsing, and looked at the group in terms of, were there any specific body parts that needed work, that needed clearing? Now what you see in red here were areas that needed this. The shoulders and spine, the heart, the hands, the hips, the sacrum, the knees, and the feet. So we're going to concentrate on these body parts. We're going to remove any traumas and fears that are living there. Okay. So we connect to the shoulders, the spine, the heart, the hands, the hips, the sacrum, the knees and the feet of all those participating tonight. We ask the energy grid to straighten and align. And we ask to transmute all traumas, fears, anger, rage, resentment, embarrassment, shame, doubt, pain, hatred that can be residing in any of these body parts. And we transmute these and send them to the fifth dimension, where they will be converted into God's highest love and light. We ask to absorb, extract, disintegrate, and expel any negative energy, disease energy, negative elementals, negative thought forms, negative spirit guides, and send them up into God's light, where they will receive the appropriate attention. We ask to clear any energy blockages, any stagnant energy, inflammation, arthritis, resentment, and emotions that we're holding on to. We invoke the Archangel Raphael to descend upon this group, to encompass this group with his magnificent wings, shielding us, protecting us, healing us with his miraculous green ray. And we ask to fill all voids created with love, forgiveness, safety, security, well-being, friendship, and unconditional love from the fifth dimension. Now we're going to continue with the systems of the body. And what came to light here was endocrine system, the respiratory system, and the circulatory system. So we ask in these three systems to remove any fears, traumas, anger, rage, embarrassment, resentment, unworthiness, guilt, shame, hate, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse, and any fears of separation. Transmuting these emotions, fears, vibrations, and frequencies and sending them to the fifth dimension, where they will be converted into God's highest love and light. Grid work, straighten, align, center, clear, activate, integrate, and ground. Release from these body parts and systems any negative energies, negative emotions across all time frames, dimensions, spaces, and realities. And once again, we invoke the great archangel Raphael to descend upon us, to work upon these body parts and systems, clearing all congestion, inflammation, allergic reaction, incompatibilities. And we bring in healing, comfort, joy, acceptance, inclusion, forgiveness, love. One of the things we need to concentrate on is breaking out of the patterns of thoughts and experiences that we're living. We have negative thoughts that repeat themselves. This triggers and produces unhappy experiences, and that feeds negative thoughts and feelings, which feeds negative experiences. So we're caught in a loop there. And that loop is essentially produced by our feeling of duality, the feeling that we're separated from the Creator, that there's the spiritual realm, that there's God, there's the angels and the ascended beings, and that we're separated from them. And we're really sharing a singular consciousness with God. It's the connection to the one mind. It's where we can start having beautiful thoughts and feelings that give us positive experiences, and we get into a virtuous cycle there. We move beyond our self-made constraints towards experiencing unlimited reality. Now, what can we do? How can we change our way of thinking? Uh, it's important to think that all behavior stems from either an expression of or a call for love. We think that what is hate? It's somebody calling for love in their own very particular manner. Love is the will behind all behavior, no matter how it appears or how we perceive it. It's, as people say, love is what makes the world go round. And the more that we can live in that love, the more we connect, the more our consciousness goes up to higher levels. So, what happens when we're trying to manifest health, abundance, relationships in our life. We have a thought, we have an emotion, and we have a feeling. If we can bring those three into unison in a positive manner, then we're ready to do that manifestations. Uh, if we're caught up in negative beliefs, then we create our own negative experiences. And these negative experiences trigger actually an electrical charge. That electrical charge, the stronger the imprint of past traumas, the more it's held in our field until we recognize and heal it. The reason for our existence, the reason for our coming in to this lifetime and all other lifetimes is to recognize what we need to learn and heal it. The moment we do that, our consciousness goes up. We release karmic patterns. We're going into a higher state of consciousness. So we also have negative entities and negative energies that live around us. Okay, disincarnates. What's a disincarnate? It's someone who's lived here and died, and their spirit didn't go into the light. So we live in Virginia, lots of Civil War battlefields, hundreds of thousands of dead here. So there's disincarnates everywhere. You find them in graveyards, old churches, things like that. So if you're not vibrating, if you're not strong, if you're in a bad moment, they become like energy parasites. They attach and they live in your aura. I find this all the time. There's also negative thought forms. We think something and we repeatedly think it until we give it life. It doesn't have a soul. It's never been had life, but it has its own energy. It has its own energy imprint and it affects our lives. There's also dark forces, usually associated with the sixth and ninth dimensions. And there's dark influences. These are archaic terms for negative thought forms. They only exist because we give them credence. In other words, in singularity, they don't exist. They only exist in duality. They exist because we allow them to exist, because we allow fear to exist, because we accept their existence. Okay? And this is where you get into like curses and hexes and things like that. What is a curse? It's an energy imprint created with a powerful intent, directed with strong emotional energy. So you get up to go to the bathroom at night and you stub your toe. You say, damn it, you just cursed yourself. It's exactly the same thing. It's you had a strong intent and a strong emotional energy. So we need to clear those in this life, and especially it's important to clear them from associated past lives. A lot of the things that we're living are spillovers from lives that we're living in other dimensions and other realities. Okay, so we're going to do a general clearing. So I'd like everybody to relax and close their eyes. And we're going to ask the spirit doctors. The spirit doctors are really powerful archangels. They're the ones they're the big guns. Okay, so we ask the spirit doctors and guides that on behalf of all of those present today in this gathering, we ask to absorb, extract, disintegrate, and expel any negative energy, diseased energy, negative elementals, negative thought forms, and negative spirit guides, and send them up into God's light where they will get the appropriate attention. We ask our guides to take each entity that we've identified by whatever means necessary to the highest, most appropriate dimension for the highest good of all. Please reverse all negative effects, symptoms, or resonant issues they may have had with any of the present in this gathering tonight, and remove from all the present all mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual attractor fields for these and similar entities. Remove the emotions, beliefs, and patterns that affect compatibilities of spirit guides. Fill all voids created with God's highest love and light. Now we're going to clear negative patterns. On behalf of all of those present in this gathering, clear any negative thought patterns or spirits of emotions, victimization or codependency, mass consciousness, poverty thinking or disease thinking in this and other lives throughout time and eternity and all dimensions, and transform them into God's pure love and light. On behalf of those participating in this gathering, we give thanks to our bodies to live at the highest appropriate level, optimize our body's desire to live, and optimize our digestive, muscular, skeletal, integumentary, urinary, immune, respiratory, lymphatic, circulatory, endocrine, nervous, and reproductive systems. We are grateful to our bodies and organs that they have optimum health, vitality, and longevity. We create an energy field around us that transforms all non-beneficial energy into the most appropriate energy needed at the time. We repel all people, events, and energies that are harmful to us and send their energies back to their origin with love and forgiveness. On behalf of all of those present in this gathering, we ask the dowsing system and our guides to balance, align, straighten, center, connect, activate, integrate, clear, and ground the energy bodies and systems of all of those present. We ask to ground them deep within the earth, connecting to the crystalline core at the center of the earth, and release all negative and lower vibration energies now and in the future into the earth and Gaia. We increase the grounding of all present. We expand the energy fields of the group outward, feet, yards, miles, thousands of miles. We connect to the grid, traveling along its threads into the realms of the guides. Expanding into the Ascended Masters, up into the angelic realms, higher and more ethereal each moment, expanding, growing, connecting, up into the Buddhic realms, up beyond the planets, until we arrive at the feet of the Lord, at the feet of God. We're aware that there's no separation. There's no judgment. There's only love of an infinite nature that spans and beyond all comprehension. And we're swept up in this ocean of unconditional love. We return and start drawing our energy back through the different realms, through the different dimensions. We thank the guides, the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, and the beloved light beings that have assisted us today. We step into the energy grid. We align with the divine light. And we bring this energy down, rooting it within our energy bodies down to an atomic and subatomic level. We accept, acknowledge, and own this energy. And ground it deep within our being. And so it is. How's everybody doing? Any observations? Everybody's very quiet. Barb?
Can't speak.
What's that?
Can't speak. Her speaker's broken.
Okay.
I feel very relaxed right now.
Good.
There was one point, Rodrigo, where I think it was when you were clearing the, I remember endocrine system as one of the lists.
Yes.
I got so hot, I was sweating. And so I thought, okay, something's leaving. And then there was another point where as you were taking us out and out and out, I could, all of a sudden, I caught myself that I was going to just leave. I knew I was going to leave. I was on the verge of it. And I had promised that I didn't want this to happen. And so my guides had my son and my husband start talking loudly.
Call you back.
Brought me right back. And so I was able to stay in the meditation, which was absolutely perfect. Thank you.
Good.
Really appreciate that.
Good. How about you, Cecilia?
Oh, it was very good, Rodrigo. I'm really grateful. I feel very relaxed. Yes.
This is such an interesting process to do in a group, because when I'm doing a one-on-one, I can feel everything that's happening individually, but here it's the group is, as Wanda would say, it becomes an energy body on its own. It has chakras, it has its own consciousness. The whole group, that energetic blob, so to speak, is clearing things all at once, and you can just feel it moving, almost like pulsating. Yeah.
Rodrigo, it's almost as if we created our own field, and you helped us to clear that field, and I feel very different than I did when we began. So thank you very, very much.
I feel lighter, not as heavy.
Yeah, I do too.
Thank you.
I had some pain in my heart chakra that is gone now, and heaviness, and that's gone. And I had one particular resentment that is gone. So it was really good for me. I want to thank you.
I can share. So before the session, I was doing some sage clearing of my house. I know there was energy stuck in the house, which, multiple reasons, I guess. But I was doing sage clearing, and then before that also I had a class where I was clearing out my aura, basically. It was the first time I ever did it, like visualizing it. And then this class now, I think it just was a perfect place to be at, where, I'm just like, I was feeling my core, basically, and I was very present here. So, and some energy was flowing in, and I was allowing. So that made me feel very centered, I would say. And thank you.
In the beginning, I felt something in my throat area twice. I needed to massage. I needed to release something. I don't know what it was. And then when we got deeper and we're doing the body parts, I got really antsy in my seat. I just was, wiggly. And now I am so calm. Thank you, Rodrigo.
For me, it was extremely relaxing and exactly what I needed today. Since I got my second shot of COVID, I've been doing self-healing, and I feel like this is absolutely perfect to get rid of everything that no longer serves me, including negative things from the vaccine. And so I'm happy that it's perfect timing on that level. And then I felt like I've been working on my throat chakra for a long time, and I felt the need. I felt that more clearing was taking place during our session, which is wonderful. So thank you so much.
something really weird happened. All of a sudden, my computer just died, and I wasn't able to reconnect again. So I'm on my phone.
Wow.
The divine timing, because I just finished.
No.
Yeah, I had that happen to me as well. I don't know what happened, but Rodrigo, when you were putting, I guess, back in towards like the last little bit that you were doing, and then next thing you know, I just happened to look up and like my computer, you know, my tablet, everything is blank, and I'm like, it keeps swirling saying connecting, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's the same thing mine's doing.
Yeah, and it was like, you can't connect, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to go on my phone and then wait for my tablet to come back up, and I'm like, I hope I got everything I was supposed to get. But I definitely felt it. I had, you know, like I could feel the big flows of energy tingling from like head to toe. I also at one point saw like they had me do like this with my hands, if that makes sense. I don't know, but I was doing that, and then all of a sudden light came up from it, you know, from the inner here, and then it kind of went out around me and went down through me and then throughout my body, like just dispersing out like this. And that was when you were going through and doing the system clearing. And so I thought that was really cool. So thank you. I feel really lighter.
You're welcome.
I felt something that I'd never felt before. I've had a lot of dowsing done by Rodrigo and done some myself. And towards the end, when you were taking us up through all the different planes, I felt like my body morphed into this, I don't know, energy form. And it just was just like moving like so quickly, like I was moving up through space. And it was just like the wildest feeling I've ever had. And then I just felt like, here I am right before the feet of God. It was just, I've never felt that before.
Allison, that's exactly what it is. It's as we expand, we start seeing that there's no limit to where we can expand, and we go up through higher and higher planes of reality and consciousness, and then you're there. There's no separation. That's the one mind. That's the singularity.
Yeah, I, on the other hand, went into a super deep relaxation. So as you know, I've been through a lot of family stress the past few days, so I probably just needed that. I would like to have gone there, Allison. Thank you.
Hi, Joe.
Hi. That was amazing. I just felt very, very relaxed, and my pain level went down. I overdid it working in the yard, and I was really hurting a lot when we started, and I feel much, much better. Thank you.
There's a couple messages in the chat, Rodrigo.
I don't know if I can, since I'm on my phone, I can't see them.
Oh, so Janice said, I felt tingling too, and some cold air. She feels lighter. And then Emily says near the end, she was falling asleep. She was so relaxed.
I would also like to share. I also would like to share that I feel transformed. I was a little bit anxious and lots of activity going on emotionally and mentally, and had a little tummy ache, and it completely transformed, and I felt it. I was aware of the changes as we went along, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Hi, so I wanted to thank you for your meditation. It was lovely. It's interesting. I do a meditation with the Hanuman Chalisa every evening at 7, and I came directly from there. And for whatever reason, I was really drawn to come to this tonight. I haven't really attended many of these, but I could feel the energy moving through the center of my body and the digestive noises and relaxation coming through. And I felt when you were working, you know, where we get upside down, I forgot what you called it, but I could really feel it drawing from the side where it didn't want to come, and a little unbalanced, just like when you said we would get dizzy. So that was really interesting that I could feel that as you were saying that.
But sometimes you feel like the room is turning a little bit.
It wasn't quite that much, but it was just like a little bit off balance. And I thought, oh, and then right when I felt that, you said that. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And what is interesting is I feel the energy moving out from me, so into my household, to the other people that are here, not attending, but much in need. So that is really powerful. And I thank you.
You're welcome. That is the shared consciousness we're talking about. If a small percentage of our humanity starts sharing that consciousness, we can elevate the consciousness of all humanity.
Right. And what I find, for whatever reason, for difficulty, for what people are going through, it's difficult for me by myself to keep my vibration high enough against the draw of what's going on. Yeah. And with your working through me or the group, I felt a really, really powerful shift.
There's no stronger force than the light.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can go into a pitch dark room with a tiny little votive candle and the whole room lights up. That's how powerful the light is.
Exactly so. Yes. And we just have to remember that, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely.
You're welcome. Thank
you.
I feel the work is still continuing. It just doesn't stop when you stop. I think that
it does, yeah.
There's a process, and that what you started with all of us as a group will continue through this process for greater healing for all of us in our own way.
It will continue for several days, and it's really important that all of you rest more than you would normally rest, because it's possible you'll get very tired. Make sure you drink lots of water to be detoxing.
I also want to share, before I shared, but I want to share there is some kind of energy up in my head, like feels like, yeah, I'm like straight up and connected in a way. And it just feels so relaxing. And I'm not many thoughts going in my head. It's more like something is connecting up. So that feels great. And thank you.
Yeah. How'd it go for you, Julie? I think you're muted, Julie.
I agree with the person that said they felt that it was continuing, and I just wanted to sit there and be in that presence of that, and I could feel my chest and heart expanding, and just to feel a huge presence in that area. So very relaxing as well. Should we do a bath, like a...
Yeah, if you have access, good to put about a cup of salt and just soak in it. That'll...
Okay, I'll do that.
So I assume that when we get the recording, we can do this again and as many times as we feel is necessary, right?
Yes, I would assume so, yes.
Yes.
Right. And Elizabeth, to that end, the recording will continue until the prayer is done. And then Emily posts it on the Rays of Healing website. And of course, you'll know which it is because it'll be dated, you know, and then I'm pretty sure it'll have Rodrigo's name attached to it too. So anybody can go and access all of the former sessions of Rays of Healing. So, okay. And if everybody's finished, because I've kind of gotten the sense that it's winded down, Rodrigo, you had this this absolutely exquisite prayer. Would you just like to continue that with the, you know, with the closing prayer for all of us? And since there are still, I think, well, there's 31 people on the screen. If I'll let you decide how you want to have them address their personal desires.
Okay, I would suggest that everybody concentrate on what their personal desires are, who they want to heal. I'd like to ask for special offerings for all the people in India and Brazil that are suffering so from COVID, and that they receive assistance and help and overcome this huge barrier. You connect to the guides, the angels, the ascended masters, the healing light beings, and thank them for their service, blessings, and light. We thank them for all the work that they've done on our behalf this evening. We also invoke God's golden light and blessings upon all sentient beings, upon the multiverse, upon the shared consciousness, and all of God's creation. Upon our families, our loved ones, our homes, our work, our relationships, and upon all those that most need you. With blessings and in full faith, it is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodrigo. And just as the follow-up, I thank you again for a magnificent presentation. Your experience is fantastic, and it's always a pleasure to be a part of any healing that you offer. And we will next week, we will have a gal called Cheryl Pilar that you have seen before. She is a medium, and she is starting her own some kind of a healing group that she will also talk about. Plus, she'll be invoking the spirits of the people that are present. The week after, I will do another healing meditation with your root chakra and your higher self. And then I think we end with Rosalind Kincaid. We end the month with Rosalind Kincaid as our paid speaker. And as always, we appreciate every single contribution. Those of you who can afford it to contribute, because that's the way we can keep our services going. And I think some of you may know this, Gina Mayberry, the gal who did own the Intuitive Wellness Center at Burke, where we met physically before, after we left Falls Church. She did close up the center, and she did move to Fredericksburg to be close to her daughter and everything. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen once we are, you know, out of the restrictive measures that we've taken. The thing I do love about the Zoom presentations is being able to reach people across the country, and sometimes in Europe too. But I had a gal call me up today and ask me when we were going to be meeting back in person. And truly, I have no idea. So, but we'll welcome people's suggestions, and certainly if anybody has ideas of meeting spaces that are affordable, and what Gina charged us was $125 a month. So that definitely was affordable for us. So anyway, I bless you all. I thank you. And I thank Rodrigo again, and bid everybody good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you so much, Rodrigo. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you
Bye.
again, Rodrigo, so much. Bye,
Thank
Alice.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Christine.
Bye, Wendy.
Good night.
Bye, Wendy. Rodrigo.
Good night, hon. Bye.
Bye.